Hey, aloha, good morning, good day, good whatever it is where you're at. Welcome to office hours for Korean natural farming with me, Drake, and, you know, bringing the wisdom of Master Cho to you for an hour to ask whatever questions you want. Sponsored by the Pure KNF Foundation and you and many of our supporters out there. Really want to shout out to all the folks that kick down, throw some super chat, super thanks. Keep this thing sustainable and going. I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for you and helping the world become a better place through all of us. Um, so, it is June 9th, 2024. It's June already. I think it was June last week too, but this week it's still June, believe it or not. So June, summer, things starting to warm up, get planting, get growing, good time to get your plant juices, all those things together. Hope you're going to have a great season. But let's start off with a little bit of higher wisdom here. Today, Shiho. Biting through. There's an obstacle to the expression of truth. Withdraw into quietness and allow the sage to moderate. Unity has been broken by one who is not being true to proper principles. This may be another or an element in one's own personality, or both. In any case, serious misfortune may result if the appropriate response is not made. The I Ching is very clear about what our proper action is when confronted with an obstacle of this nature. Withdrawal into contemplation and turning over the matter to the higher power for resolution. This is a time when aggressive action or intervention can only compound the misfortune. Use your strength to clearly separate yourself from incorrectness and realign yourself with the sage. It is always our responsibility to acknowledge where something has gone wrong, but never our right to punish. The administration of justice is the sole province of the deity. The I Ching teaches us to forgive, but not to forget. This does not mean that one who reveals himself as inferior today will be regarded as such tomorrow. It means that we are wise to pay attention or pay conscientious attention to the waxing and waning of truth in oneself and in others. When truth predominates, we can progress. When it is eclipsed, we are obligated to withdraw and surrender the matter to the sage. So, yeah, biting through. Kind of definitely felt like that this morning a little bit, walking over here. I was like, oh man, breaking some unity. Like, oh, sometimes I'm like super pumped to be here. Other times I'm like, oh man, it's a grind. I think it's what, like 100 something thousand hours episodes. I don't know. Been doing this for a while. It's good fun. I do it because of you, to be here, support it. Glad Cecily got some rain out there. Western Australia. Glad you're tuning in. What's up, Cecily? We had, cool. Planting a quarter acre of Saradella. I don't know what that is. Let me look at it. Saradella. Let's see here. Put this one over to this one here, that one there. Saradella, in case you're wondering what Cecily is planting, it looks like this. I think this is it. Saradella. Saradella, or common bird's foot. 3 acres of this. Huh. Cool. It's a nice looking plant. Nice illustration. It is known for producing high quality forage in highly acidic, nutrient poor soils. So cool. This one is somehow able to pull nutrition out of where there's no nutrition. Maybe it has good microbial associations. It creates pulls nitrogen out of the air. Yeah, that's a legume. So cool. Yeah, what's up, Solar Gourmet coming in from Germany? What's up? Welcome. Where's plant start season ever? Oh. Yeah, well, climate change, right? That's what we all say, biting through. Does Hawaii KNF instructional booklets sold on your website include information for raising chickens and pigs? I have quails and I'm curious about applying KNF, things like LAB and IMO. It doesn't, it teaches you how to make the recipes. It doesn't include the livestock or chickens at this point. I was going to make that into a separate book, so it doesn't have that in there. But if you are curious about the livestock and stuff and you have time to watch a YouTube, if you go, to my channel here.
Hey everybody.
Oh gosh, why?
Michael Ferguson.
Always that video shows up, always. But if you go here to my channel and you scroll down a little bit, might look different on mobile, but there is a lesson on a basic chicken poultry course. So right here, this one, basic poultry training. This is with Master Cho here. And if you go to that, that's an overview, which the overview probably has information in there teaching you about it. But it's a playlist. So let me put it not in this mode, but a playlist. So the playlist over here is full of information on how to do poultry, and how to do quails would be in here for sure. And if you're interested just basically in the feed formula, the last one in here in this playlist is just on the feeds. So if you're interested in that, right there is where you could find that. So yeah, there's not a book on that, but there are videos, and well worth watching. That is like, that was a 10-day course I recorded with Master Cho. So we got Northern California and Seattle in the house, Canada, Ontario coming in, Goofman up New York, what's up? Senegal, what's up, Sadhu? Sadhu. Yeah, the climate machine. So, also today, if you are interested, there is, today is Sunday. It's the second Sunday of the month, meaning that today is our membership meeting for the Pure KNF Foundation. So, not only bringing you today's office hour, but also bringing you extra content. Today, if I go here, I gotta log in. Let me just do that and go check out our monthly meetings. We have Yarrow coming in from Idaho, and look at that sunflower. I mean, if you could grow sunflowers like that, he's up to something. And joining our lovely members. And so today, 2 o'clock Hawaii time, which, if you're curious what time that is for you, here is a list of the time zones in your area. So if you're in Dubai, that would be 4 a.m. for you. Or if you're in Tokyo, it'd be 9 a.m. Yeah, so we're going to be doing this membership meeting with Yarrow, special guest today. And then also, if you become a member, you can catch our past episodes where we got, last month we talked to Stephen Cornett. And then the month before that, we talked with the other folks from Royal Flush Farms. We had Spencer and Earl, and then also Tomer. So good crew of folks all coming to you as members, doing what we do best, which is spread the natural farming community and all that. So that's happening later today. For me, it's what a couple hours from now. Be doing that. So G is in Wisconsin. Thanks for their videos, doing his something. I can't. First outdoor garden this year, trying to do full CanF outside. Awesome, man. I know if you follow the basic formulas, you will be mucho successful. Because most people that are here in the show today are doing it, and I don't know. Has anyone failed doing KNF? Drop it in the chat. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, it's like, you do it and it pretty much works, right? I don't know if you can fail doing KNF. It's like mimicking nature. How can nature fail you? It's like, otherwise, I don't know. I'm pretty sure everyone's successful. It's just a matter of, maybe you could fail doing IMO. You could fail making a few of the solutions if you didn't do them right. But applying it, if you have the solutions made properly and you apply it, I don't know if you can fail. I don't know. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it's possible to fail. I think it's just, it's built into how it works, is that it just works, right? So, yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, so what else is up for today? If we got any more questions, can jump into that. I'm happy to help you if it's your first time doing it, But if not, we got Madaj coming up. I know you're supposed to on YouTube, you're supposed to be, but later in the episode, we're getting to this. Watch till the end, right? It's classic YouTube. You watch it, they're always like, watch till the end. Stop watching whenever you feel that you need to. You don't need to watch till the end. If you do watch till the end, you probably get a lot more out of it. But some Madaj coming up for you. Gotta do what you gotta do on the platform, make it work. So anyway, I did want to get into, oh, you know where it was? It's on my hard drive over here. I was gonna pull that video up. Oh, I had it up last time. Oh man. Oh, now I gotta find it again. I was gonna pull up the video of Young Sung Cho doing the thing. Let's see if we can find that here real quick for you. Let's see. How am I gonna get to that quickly? Oh, Jadam, Pepikeo. Well, one thing I did transcribe all this stuff. Let's pull this up and let's get here. Because I was going to show you, so we're going to go into Madaj here and get into basically the 2016 Big Island. Yeah, actually, let's go down to this one. Let's see. We're going to go through, let's see. Will these play here if I do this? What's going to happen? Oh, yeah, here. Oh, yeah, this is great. Okay, so we were going to go through and go through the sulfur and all those things and get into the sulfur and the soap and all of those. So let's see. My main question is JMS, the Jadam version of IMO. It's also called green grass liquid fertilizer, and it's in Cho's book. I'm making the cedar boxes currently, but have been spreading JMS every few weeks. Cool. That's the recipe we covered in this book last week. was the Madaj IMOs. And we got to that in here, which was the soil foundation, which I think was the last recipe. So this soil foundation. And what Young Song recommends here is that you apply it 3 to 4 times a month during growing. So that's basically on a weekly basis. He's saying put the Madaj soil solution down, which is basically the JMS diluted. So you can watch last week's episode if you, because I talked about this for, it was the main recipe we covered, was last time. So that's good. Making IMOs, getting up to the IMOs is even better. They're more compatible with your soil, bringing in the soil, forest fungal stuff, and really getting your soil biology together. Master Cho's methods are even better. Whereas Young Song Cho is a great place to get started. The Madaj, get started here. But then really, getting up to Master Cho's recipes. He's, they call him Master Cho for a reason, because they don't call him Master Young Song Cho, do they? Yeah. So, so it's worth getting there and doing those things. So it's a heck of a process, let me tell you. It is dedication. It is like you get your badges and your rank. You're going to be a colonel by the time you're done. So it's well worth going that route, but get there eventually. Otherwise, in the meantime, do, the Madaj microbe solution is great to get there. So, Big West is saying, I fed fish hydrolysate to a young and freshly planted mulberry tree. It looked dead. We freaked out. Then it came back with a vengeance. It was my first time using it, and I eyeballed the ounces. So I've also heard of that when I was in Texas. A guy was doing some Madaj stuff, and they dumped over a thing of the microbe solution, of the Madaj microbe solution, and it killed the plant, looked like it killed the plant, and then the plant, so it defoliated, and then it came back just more leaves than they had ever seen in their entire life. And it came back with such a vengeance that they were like, whoa, it sounds like something you also encountered. And so I don't know about that. I've never had that happen to me, but where I am at, it rains so much that there's so much moisture in the soil, that there's so much dilution that it may not be affecting me the same way. But in Texas, where they were, it's much more like rain and then no rain. The water conditions are different, and so they've had a plant defoliate. And I think I might want to open source that video, because that was in the KNF Texas training. Let me see if I can find that real quick for you here and see. That was 2019 in the Aloha Tour in Texas. Let's see. So finals here, this KNF conference. What is this video here? No, this was not then. Orange County, no, Texas, SoCal experts. I did go to Texas, I'm certain of that. Oh, Austin. I put it under Austin. Okay. Yeah, so Austin, Texas. It wasn't just Texas. So here is this video here. Let's see. I'll play it over here. Let's see what we get.
Here with the this, right? And that side of things. Tony is
out. And on the last batch that I was going to dump, I thought, you know what? I'm going to try it. I poured it on a mulberry tree. And within a day, that tree just dropped all its leaves. It looked like it died. It went, it was a real letdown. But now, after about 6 months, that tree is like twice as big as any other mulberries. And it's much wider, it's dramatically different, where you walk in, you see it. you wonder what's going on with that tree, why it's so much better. And it was the only tree that actually dumped all the stuff. And from then on, it's kind of like, okay, something to this. And yeah, here I am.
So yeah,
So there you go. That's him talking about his mulberries. And wow, that was amazing that I was able to shortcut right to that. Talk about an index. That was good. So yeah, so I guess his was also a mulberry that he dropped it on. So maybe this is something that happens with mulberries. When they get too much microbes, they defoliate, but then they come back with a vengeance and just come back and, you know, come nice. I guess, yeah, you put fish aminos on it though, but he was putting JMS on it. And so maybe mulberries, I don't know, maybe they're more fragile than you think. Seem to be pretty resilient to most things, but yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna buy a hat like the one you're wearing. You have to earn the hats. The hats come from coming here and training or coming to a KNF conference, which I don't have any scheduled, so yeah. Discovered a huge mulberry tree. Yes, great information. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, mulberries, you know, Texas. You know, these the Texas experts here, man, that was good fun, man. Doing these I wish I had the time and energy to do this kind of stuff these days. But like
here with a health emphasis, right? Side of things.
but we had Stacy talking about
dosage, but it's definitely really amazing stuff. Especially, I know Drake said this too, but if you get food poisoning or have any kind of if you're sick, it's really great time to take it. And at that point, you would really like hot, super mega dose. It's really hard.
so I think she's talking about LAB.
Within natural farming, there's of course the inputs and solutions and all that. There are also aspects that are largely left to the farmer to determine like how you're managing your mulching or using green manure, those types of methods, like kind of more like earthwork type stuff, and on swales. Tony's been managing several different plots using different natural farming systems. Can you tell us a little about the different ways that you're managing your trials?
So anyway, yeah, there's maybe I'll. Oh wait, were you guys just watching me that entire time? You weren't watching that? You were just hearing the audio? Oh my gosh, classic. Classic.
I want to try to help spread this to everyone. I think everyone needs to know about this stuff, and we can all use it and benefit from eating the food that's from this way. And, yeah, seeing what the microbes can do is really powerful. And as far as what I wouldn't do, I would say you just have to try it. I mean, I definitely have had plenty of failures, especially with the IMO 3 and 4, I forget, activated IMO. The fourth stage, I've had some that go bad. I learn every time from what happens, and it's definitely tedious. And here in Texas, different than doing it in Hawaii and learning how to work with the weather and everything. But I think just getting out there and trying, you're going to learn and you'll succeed eventually.
Yeah. So anyway, little bit of testimony from Stacy there from 2019. So there's a question about just using IMO 1 instead of going to IMO 2. I would always go to IMO 2 and preserve it. You can just take that moldy rice and put it in your water and mix it up and use it that way, but you're not purifying it. There's a step. If we look at the book, where's the book? Here it is. There it is. let's go down to the IMO here. So, so if you look at the book here and you look and you see here the IMOs, kind of the stages of it, like you're basically, these stages you're coming through. You got seed IMO to start, plus water and maintenance formula, proteins, you get propagated IMO. You go this way, you get foundation IMO, you go that way, you get compost and liquid IMO. I don't know if that's the most clear equations, but basically starting with seed IMO, where you're just getting rice that looks like this. And let me see, let me put this on. So you're just getting rice that looks like this here. You could just mix this into water, sure. And you'd have to add, some other nutrients and things for it to make an IMO tea out of this. You could, but you're better off to then preserve it with brown sugar into this case, because what happens when you take the seed IMO that you've collected plus the brown sugar is there is a fermentation selection process that happens here, where just the good IMOs make it through that process. So by putting it into going to what they would call IMO2, which I call seed IMO, preserved seed IMO, this preservation step, it really helps to filter out the bad stuff. And then this is shelf stable, so you can store this, and then you just need a handful per 5-gallon bucket of water to make a tea out of this. And then, following Master Cho, you go through the propagated IMO step, and then finally after that, you'd go through the foundation IMO step. In this, there's a lot of reasons to go beyond this. This is kind of your seed IMO are kind of like infants. Then these are like elementary school kids. As you go into the seed preservation, they're like, they've had some schooling. They know how to stand in a line. They know how to raise their hand before they ask a question, starting to figure out the norms of society, whether that's good or bad, I don't know. And then these guys are like high school graduates, where they're going to be able to do some great things for you. And then the foundation IMO, finally, where you mix it with soil and go through another fermentation step. These are going to be like battle hardened, on the job, already 10-year veterans that are going to know what to do. You throw any task at them and they're going to be able to turn any soil fertile. So there's a reason to go through that progression, right? If you just say, I just want to take kids and put them out there, sure you can. It's like throwing kids in the bushes. Some of them will survive, maybe. But you're better off to train them first, go through outdoor survival schools, weed out the weak ones, bring just the tough ones, then send them to more higher education, and then finally give them a job and take the best from the best. It's like your senior developers here. So it's worth going through, but you can just do it. Sure. You can. You can do anything. I mean, assuming you have the willpower, the time, the energy, the dedication, the intelligence, all those things. And Mitchell says it's worth the effort to go beyond IMO 1. Definitely is. Failure's inevitable. Okay. So anyway, doing some more things, doing some good things. Okay, so the video I did want to get to you today, and what I did want to get into here is some Madaj stuff. So I found this, and this is the high resolution stuff. Let me bring this on this side so I can do this way, and then bring this back like that. Okay, so what I wanted to get into today was going through the Madaj recipes and go through kind of, how they are making sulfur. I think we started with sulfur here. And then getting into, I think, sulfur, soap, and I don't think we made the herbal solutions, but we definitely made the sulfur and the soap, which are basically the two major things of the Madaj system. The 2-year plan, converting people over to KNF. It's good. You got to plan on it. You got to have that transition. So with this, the Madaj, get into Madaj, because I want to finish this up. It's already June. I'm hoping to finish this by the end of June. Because I've been talking about this the whole year. So I don't know if there's any sound with this, and it's lagging because it's coming off of my my hard drive there. But do you see what's happening here? This is overboiling. This is just like, oh man, this isn't the world's best angle. But what ended up happening was his sulfur ended up overboiling. Oh, let's see. There might be a better video because these ones are coming. These are like super high resolution videos here. Oh, there's me in the background. And the sound isn't coming through with this. So this, like, we had a professional videographer record this, and it's never been released. But we have super high resolution video of this where they're talking about what they're doing. And I was also there with my iPad filming this, so it might be better instead of watching the high resolution one, we watch the lower resolution with my iPad because I think it'll render better off my hard drive. It's a bit hard for it to send this across the network to the NAS and bring it up here. Plus there's no sound, so but there is high resolution video of this. But I'm going to pull this one up and try and find the right place here and go to the Jadam hands-on. It's this one here. And once that loads here, bring that over to the right screen here. So this is the Madaj hands-on training. And so we'll let this roll and see what happens here.
Yeah, we don't have the goggles, the mask, and the jacket and boots and everything, but you must have that when you do it. Don't do as we do, do as we say. So let's begin.
먼저 무항을 물 있는 공에 넣는 게 아니고 빈 공에다 넣는 거예요. 빈 공에.
You put the sulfur in the empty one, not into the water, into the empty one, the sulfur.
한 가지 빠져요. 이 통을 선택을 할 때는 이게 열이 많이 나기 때문에 두꺼운 통을 선택을 하셔야 됩니다. 열에 견딜 수 있게.
It's very important that you choose a container that is heat resistant. It'll produce a lot of heat, and the walls must be quite thick so that it can stand the heat.
이걸
This particular barrel, Jackie Grill, who is the owner of the Sweet Cake, is it Jackie here?
No.
You know the where you bought it?
Chemtainer.
Huh?
Chemtainer in KL in the shipping
Okay.
line. Yeah.
You bought it here, container. Yeah. So you can buy this container same thing from container.
통을 잘못 선택하면 작업중에 새 가지고 같이 화장을 줄 거예요.
So we emphasize once again, it's very important that the barrel is heat resistant. If it is not, it will start to melt the barrel, and then it's very hot liquids can pour out into you.
어떻게 보면 이거는 20kg.
Put in 25 kilograms of sulfur.
맞으면 이거는 아닙니다.
I'll just use liters and kilograms so they can convert it later. You need to convert it into the precise number later. And you put in 25 kilograms of sulfur into it, and be sure to do it gently, because if you just pour it in roughly, then all this stuff will be coming out. 99.9%.
그다음에 이 세 가지를 넣는다.
Then we put in these three ingredients. 1.5 kilograms of sea salt,
암도 들어가.
0.5 kilogram of red flag powder,
선매압 들어가.
0.5 kilogram of peanut powder.
만약 선매압이 없으면 지역에 있는 황토를 갖다가 1kg 사가지고 돼요.
If you don't have the peanut or red flag, just get some very fine rock powder, which is locally available, and put 1 kilogram of that into it instead of these two.
이 세 가지를 넣는 이유는 두 가지입니다. 첫 번째는 이렇게 설명을 했지만 유황이 발동했다. 안으로 하기 위함이고 또 하나는 이 세 가지 다 성분이 다 미네랄을 많이 갖고 있습니다. 미네랄 수산 전기를 구해줍니다.
And the reason why we add those three ingredients is because there are two reasons. One is that helps producing a very clear liquid that doesn't have any suspended particles. The second is they themselves are very rich in minerals, so it is very nutritious for the plants.
그 다음에 단호반을 맨 위에 놓고 지금 보셨지만 춘도가 다 빠진 무한을 넣어놓고 그 다음에 세 가지 놓고
Already an omen of disaster.
The sequence is very important. You have to follow the exact sequence. The sulfur first, and then the three ingredients. And then you put in the caustic soda above it. And it is 20 kilograms of caustic soda. It's 98% pure. They are food grade.
이거 아주 집에 묻는 위험하니까
It is also quite dangerous. Never let it touch your skin. Caustic soda, sodium hydroxide, 20 kilograms.
So the sodium hydroxide will activate that, make the heat required to melt the
So I
sulfur.
would like to emphasize that you have to use the exact amount, exactly 20 kilograms of caustic soda.
그 다음에 물 미리 받아둔 물 부어서 우기면 됩니다.
And then the next thing you do is you pour this water into here and melt it.
물 미리 받아놨는데 이걸 혼자는 못 들죠.
You can't leave this alone.
그렇다고 그걸 받아주면 되니까 조금씩 옮기면
The important thing is that when you put water into this barrel here, you do not put it in divided, just put it all at once in continuous flow. In one continuous flow. Okay?
만약에 혼자 꼭 해야 된다면 이건 작은 그릇에 무신이타를 받아놨다가 붓고 해.
So if you don't have any friends, but then you have to do it alone, then prepare small buckets, many buckets, and prepare.
맨 양보를 가마.
So all these guys should be wearing protective and
But you pour it
stuff.
one flow, so it's not divided flow, just one flow.
But you gotta pour it all in at once. So it's tricky. The water's heavy. And this thing is gonna detonate. Not detonate, but it's very dangerous what they're doing. Don't do... It's starting to off-gas. That sodium hydroxide is... You can see Ken starting to cough. Super toxic. This is like, you shouldn't do it this way. It's ridiculous. And then watch, it's gonna bubble over. I don't know if we actually showed that, but he needs to start stirring it like crazy. And everyone in the front row is getting, you can see everyone in the front row is getting chemical burn.
So they don't really produce as much dust, but this product, the ability for the American one, is too fine, so it's flat around.
And we shouldn't have been doing this where everyone's around.
Advise that you use a fan before you do it.
It's a very bad idea what happened here. But this is the first time they ever came to Hilo. So you live and learn.
And don't do it outside, because if you do it inside, you can see the people are coughing. Don't harm your fan.
Everyone in the front row is getting chemical burn.
Use a wooden stick to stir.
Their lungs, and then it overbubbled. You could see in the other episode it overbubbled because the caustic soda and the particles were so fine that it overboiled. I cut that part out because there was a disaster happening, so I don't think I could film right then. But you see it smoking, billowing. I don't know. You see it billowing.
Yes, we believe that you have to use more water in this case. And I was explaining that in case of warmer climate, you have to use 54 liters instead of 50. And it looks like in Hawaii here, you best use more water than 54 from the first place instead of 50 because of the difference in the material and the weather. Cost.
Please, you keep wiping your eye near your eyes. Maybe somebody gave you a wipe your.
What is that? Korea? More than 98%, but the one that we're using here is 100%. That's why it's called
That's it, right?
So anyway, that's how you make the that's how you make the sulfur. Is you add all those ingredients in the thing, add the water, stir like crazy.
That is possible, but that is another complication. So here we suggest that you put in 54 liters of water in the beginning, and as you have seen, always prepare water in the back so you can when that happens. That is the hooks. That is the hook.
So his recommendation was always to have an extra, 5 to 10 gallons of water sitting around.
Scrape the bottom of the barrel and then put
cook up the material in there, that is to check whether all the sulfur has melted completely. So you stir and you check the bottom to see whether there are any remaining undissolved sulfur. And once you have checked that all the sulfur has melted, then you add in the second water. When the first water was 54 liters, the second water will be 28 liters. The numbers are in the book.
So, as always, I recommend you never do this at home.
While there are some sulfurs remaining that have not melted, then that sulfur will no longer melt. So it's important that you stir while it is hot. So because they will melt when it's hot, so you stir when it's hot.
So you just keep stirring this.
And you'll leave it for a while so that nothing can go proceed. And when you go on to the making of the bacon bread, this time you don't want to go anywhere. When you make bacon egg, the dough has to be very, very clean. Very clean. So this chemical.
So I'm going to pause it there. So that was making the sulfur. So you saw what they did. They basically added sulfur in there. They added, what was it? Salt, sea salt. They added some phyllite powder. And they added, what else was in there? I don't know. You can go back and watch it. And then the sodium hydroxide. And the sodium hydroxide makes that heat, which then basically, as you add it in, it causes a chemical reaction to happen, which makes the water hot enough to dissolve the sulfur. And so you don't have to cook the... One problem is that a lot of the ways that people will make sulfur, a classic way is to put sulfur in water and then just boil it. But the problem is that the water never gets hot enough. The water only goes to like 212 degrees and sulfur melts at like 230 or something. And so I'm not exactly sure the exact temperatures, but the sodium hydroxide and water reaction actually happens at a higher temperature than you can boil the water to. So that heat then makes the sulfur liquefy and dissolve. And then as you're stirring it, you can melt all that sulfur into the water. And as you see here, there was a huge chemical reaction. You can see in the video all the, it overflowed. So basically, the recommendation is always to have 5 or 10 more gallons of water on hand, so you can add that in. If it starts over boiling, you just pour it in and just cool that reaction down, because it's a reaction between your outside ambient air temperature and the heating up of this potassium or sodium hydroxide and the sulfur and all these things happening, that you need to be, well aware of what's happening. It's a chemical reaction. It's extremely dangerous. You should be having, a respirator, goggles, gloves, everything. Yeah, and it is the opposite of natural. This is Madaj. I mean, this is Madaj natural farming. This is the son of Master Cho, right? This isn't Master Cho's recipes. So if you're like here and you're like, oh, it's the opposite of natural, it's like, I'm covering Madaj because this is part of Korean natural farming. And this is a way to do, sulfur is a natural occurring thing. So is sodium hydroxide. So all these things are naturally occurring, and you can make them at home, but I'm telling you, don't do it. And here this entire time we've been advocating this, and I've been like, don't do this, it's bad. Instead use microbes and these things. But I just wanted to cover it for completeness sake, since it is part of Korean natural farming. The Madaj is very, you can see it overboiled. Some of those people got, respiratory irritation. All the people in the front row got gassed out chemically. Your eyes start watering. You're breathing in that nasty stuff. It's gnarly. It's gnarly. What's the definition of natural? There's no such thing as the definition of natural, right? They can, they say, what is it? MSG is natural flavorings, right? And all those things. So natural is a very undefined word. But, so I just wanted to show you a bit of the Madaj mixing up. If you're curious how to do it, there's probably better resources you can find online. But here was just an example of, it happening live. There's a bit of that cut out. I don't know if I have the original here of what happened with my iPad while I was filming this. I know I do have the originals. Am I able to find them right in time here? Let's see here. If I have this group by, it won't group for me. There, let's see, coming down movies. Oh, here's an interesting video. This is Ray Yoon over at my place with an AK-47 hunting pigs with me. You know, so not only hero of translating, but also, you know, I don't know if you can show this on YouTube, but there's Ray firing an AK-47. He came over to my place, you know, practice some American Second Amendment. Is it going to show him? He's very careful in aiming. Korean military trained here. But, you know, I always have fun with folks when they come from Korea. Be like, you know, you're an American, you're in America, shoot a gun with us. You know, make sure your neck is the right color. Is he going to shoot? AK should be normal for these guys. I guess he's not North Korean. Come on, Ray. Come on. Rat poop is natural. Yep. Second banana. Oh, there he goes. Oh, yeah, Ray. Feel the power. 7.62 by 39, baby. Did he hit it? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Here's Ray, you know, cooking up a Korean in the kitchen, the KNF kitchen. So, what is this? After hours? I don't know. What is that? Some nasty JMS that they had brewing? Oh no, that is LAB from chocolate milk. That's what that is. That's LAB from chocolate milk. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a pig we caught together. My dog. Let's see where it must have been earlier. Do I have it? Or this is like a different. I know they did it here. I don't know. Anyway, I got the other things there. You know what? Maybe it was in 2017 here. I don't know. Jadam, pepper kill. No. Anyway, we'll just continue with this because there's too much. We'll continue with this. So we went over the sulfur. You know, if you really want to learn, you know, the Madaj book, you can buy this, find it on Amazon, or just search. You know, if I search on the internet, there's Madaj. Somebody blogged this information. It's open source, right? So anyone can post it anywhere. But that was the sulfur, and then let's go through the soap. So if there's any questions on the sulfur, drop them in the chat. We'll cover that after we get through the soap. So.
You have cleaned the barrel very well. 2.5 kilogram or 2.5 liters of salt water. Same here, this water has to be exactly 2.5 kilograms, so use the machine, measure it precisely, and then put in 2.5 kilograms. Kilogram and liter are the same, 2.5. And it's salt water, water that I'm wetting against, doesn't make any clouds.
So soft water.
And then next is 3.2 kilogram of caustic potash, potassium hydroxide.
Cops are coming. Someone called the fire department.
When you put the caustic potash into water, gas will form. So we need to shut it. So he wanted to clean the lid before shutting it.
He's also going to gas out the people in the front row. You should never do this near other people. Wonder whatever happened to this guy's videos. He never released them.
3.2 kilogram of caustic potash.
So he's putting the potassium hydroxide in there. Then he added the water, just enough water to get it to melt there. And then he's covering it with a lid, but you should have, again, gas mask. Don't do this around people. Eye protection, skin protection. This is gnarly stuff. This is like the stuff that burned you in Fight Club. And he opens it. This is going to off-gas everybody. I don't see how he's not going to.
Take that out before you put that in, actually. So I think it's a demoisturizer. You can see that it dissolves instantly.
Yeah, super gnarly. Don't do this at home.
Make sure that this is completely dissolved before you go on to the next stage.
So what it's doing is it's heating up. You're causing a chemical reaction, heating it up.
So we're going to pour in the canola oil. 18 liters of canola oil. Careful over splashing.
Then they're pouring oil into there. This is canola oil, vegetable oil, some sort of thing like that. Different oils have different amounts of heat and sodium hydroxide and water you gotta add. So look that up if you're not going to use canola oil. Cheers. Yeah. Hey, thanks. Yeah. So now he's getting a drill with a drill bit, mixing bit on there.
All plant oils are okay, but the canola oil is very good. It's better than soybean oil. Now we mix with the drill.
지금 보시면 카놀라유 색깔은 똑같이 되어 있는데요. 이걸 교반을 하면 점점 버섯처럼 바뀌게 돼요.
Currently, the solution looks just like canola oil, but if you start mixing, then it will change into butter-like substance. Thin minus-like substance.
그리고 드릴은 이 순간식보다는 전기로 해서 하는 것이 훨씬 더 잘 됩니다.
And this is a rechargeable one. This one can be weak, so it's better to use a coated one.
그리고 이 교반 날개도 이물질이 없게 아주 깨끗하게 따르는 게 중요합니다.
Also, it's very important that this part which comes into contact with the solution is very clean.
교반하겠습니다.
Let's start.
이때도 튀기면 위험하니까 안 튀게 조심하셔야 돼요.
Be very careful because there can be splashes.
So you basically blend it. When I do small batches, I use a hand immersion blender and do smaller batches, but he's doing a fairly large batch, so having a drill. The key is to get all the oil to mix with that hot water and heat up the oil. That's what he's doing here. So you got the canola oil and the potassium hydroxide and water all in the right ratios, mixing that up. And mix. And he wants it to look like a thin mayonnaise, is what he said. And it takes probably 5 minutes or so on this size batch. Smaller batches maybe take 2-3 minutes. You don't want to overmix it though. It's one of the keys. Don't overmix. Your neighbors are going to think you're cooking meth. Well, you know. You're cooking math, man. Cooking with math. So here he is, mix. Look at this. And I'm playing this at 1.5 times, so don't just measure this time to think that they're... Look at the audience sitting there in all that suspense. Yeah, caustic goodiness. Yeah, this is the gnarliest thing. I'm telling you. This I don't recommend. I recommend Master Cho stuff always over Med-Edge. Med-Edge is like gnarly. Chemical explosion, anytime you have to wear PPE, you know you're doing something wrong. Well water, always try and use soft water, Thomas. Always. Run it through a water softener. Well water is almost always hard, and it has no oxygen in there. So oxygenate it and run it through a water softener. You're going to have way better results. Using hard well water is almost always going to be worse off for everything. So he's thickening it up by drilling it. Look at that. They're filming this. Look at Sam filming that stuff back there. Go Sam, go Sam. That's a guy doing the HD video that I should probably cut it into something and use it. What's up, Mark? Welcome, man. We're just we're watching some soap being made with Cha, Dr. Cha here.
You have to make this fully with the pail the first.
Soft water is always going to be better. Just in terms of absorption, it's always soft water is always going to be better. Okay, you guys are using well water, but I'm telling you, run it through a water softener if you want to be more effective, more absorbable.
So when you have reached a state where it's like thin nail that completes the first process, and you have to close the lid and then let it sit for 3 days. If you add water in here now, then the oil will separate from the water.
So don't add your second water too soon. Let it cure.
Sitting, the oil will change into a oil that melts into water.
Yep. So this is your.
여기 식으면서 점점 붓게 됩니다. 그래서 이제 버터처럼 붓게 되는데 그 상태에서 3일 이상을 숙성을 시키는 겁니다. 3일쯤에.
Okay, but now you have to let it sit for over 3 days. You can make it sit longer. Yes.
That it's thick enough now?
And it looks like it gives like thin mayo, but it's thin mayonnaise. And it's currently quite hot. So as it cools down in the sitting period, this thing will change into something that looks like butter. From thin mayo to butter. Don't eat both of them.
3일 후에 뚜껑을 열어서 물을 부어서 녹이면 되는데요. 그때 뚜껑을 열었을 때 버터처럼 전체가 붙어있으면 정답인데 그렇지 않고 친구리가 달다. 그러면 뭐가 잘못됩니다.
So after 3 days, you open the lid and have a look. The whole substance has to be it's made of even composition. If there's a layer of separation, then something has gone wrong.
보통은 잘못됐을 경우가 친구리가 나든지 아니면 그대로 있습니다. 붙지 않고.
So common symptoms of going wrong is first, there's layer separation, or if something goes wrong, second, it will not solidify into butter, it will stay just like this. That's all wrong.
그런 경우에는 첫 번째가 물을 아주 안 좋은 걸 사용했을 경우, 그 다음에 드릴, 1차 드릴을 너무 적게 했을 경우, 또 한 가지는 물.
So you said something about water.
물 양하고
I still going
I think he's hungover. Either he's getting chemical poisoning.
I can tell him that I planned it to overboil, so it's very perfect.
다시 하겠습니다. 이렇게 3일 이후에 뚜껑을 열었을 때 친구리가 나거나 다 안 됐을 경우는 첫 번째 물량이 잘 안 맞았을 때 물량을 아주 정확하게 하셔야 됩니다. 그리고 물이 아주 센 거, 병수를 사용했을 때
Once you're first water, you can stand over the soap while you're making
On
it.
the third day, I mean after the third day, and then there's something gone wrong, whether it has a layer or it hasn't formed into a butter-like condition. Most likely, first the volume of water was not precise. Secondly, we repeatedly stress that you have to use salt water, but if you have used hot water, things can go wrong.
So if you're standing over it, it's only off-gassing when the sodium or the potassium hydroxide is mixing with your first water. Once you put the oil,
Second water, just drill once more.
you can stand over it.
Also, when you drill in that case, second drill, when things have gone wrong, also drill it until the solution looks like thin mayo.
Do you have to let it sit for 3 more days after that?
Yes, and then you let it sit over 3 days after that.
Yes.
And, so the water volume is important, the water quality, it has to be salt water, and then if you haven't mixed it well enough in the first stage, then things can go wrong, like becoming layer separation or not turning into butter.
So this is, shown here. Let's see. Are they going to talk about it further? I don't know. Are they doing? Oh, they're adding the second water to the sulfur. I guess that's probably worth watching
There
there.
can be some stuff smoking out, some food stuff sitting down. So you stir the wood stick and help it melt into the water. It takes about a day to dissolve.
So they're talking about how to make the second thing, and then they're adding second water into the sulfur.
Now let's see if the sulfur is dissolved completely, and then we can finish with the sulfur.
So they're dissolving the sulfur here. There's no more chunks at the bottom.
The materials from the bottom of they're checking whether there are any remains.
And if it is all dissolved, then they're going to add the second water into it.
Then you add water to make 100 liters.
So he's filling it up to the 100. He was doing a 100-liter batch here. So he's adding in the second water here to the sulfur now that it's all dissolved. Even though the bit overflowed there. But the second water. Then you let it sit and settle out.
Yeah, so you have made 100 liters of Jadam sulfur, but you do not leave it like that, and you have to do it into smaller bottles and then keep it stored. Also in that.
Yeah, so then you gotta bottle it in the smaller bottles.
Because if the JS is stored in this condition, this is very huge, this has a huge volume, and then there can be concentration difference, layer of different concentrations of sulfur in the solution.
What's the temperature of that right now? You know?
It rises to nearly 100 degrees Celsius and then it falls, and we have added some ambient temperature water into that. And there are bottles that have thicker walls, and we recommend that when you are storing the JS, you use thicker walled bottles.
Glass, okay.
That's it, okay.
Now
Now let's do the JS, the Jadam microorganisms.
So that's them making the sulfur, doing their thing. Let's see, what else? What else are they going to do? Oh, they're going to make some JMS. Okay. So we'll watch the JMS next time, but because I wanted to cover the sulfur and the soap. So you saw them making it. Hopefully you can watch, if you're interested to do it, I recommend, don't do it at home. Of course, don't ever do this, ever. But then here's them at the very end giving out the sulfur to everybody. Bottle it into their smaller bottles. Stuff is super gnarly. Everyone's just filling up their water bottles. Buy some, get some free. And then the last video here for this one that's relevant is we went over to Ginger John's farm here. And besides seeing Ginger John's farm and seeing the IMOs and, chilling with Young Sung and seeing his recommendations, and check out their hats, just saying. But we went here, let's see. Oh, yeah, so we're checking out his IMO barn here, which now Cherub lives right there. But, checking out IMOs with Ginger John. There you go. There you go, Goof. Ginger John making some IMOs. But then we also, while on this trip, we did the second part of the... So this is what this... Oh. Dang, that's loud for me. So this is what the soap looks like once it's mixed. Okay, once it's done, it's kind of this butter thing, texture that they were showing. So this is it. After 3 days, it had hardened up. And so, in addition to checking out John's IMOs, we're also investigating the soap with Mr. Cha. And so it had hardened up. And so they also here then, take take some of the soap. I think they're testing the water hardness here. You can do the soap test. And then they're going to fill this with water up to 100 liters. And then he's just kind of, you see, he's taking after the second water's done. Oh, he has a nice shirt like Master Cho. This Young Song doing this. As the water's coming in, he's kind of just doing it by hand here of mushing up the... Sorry, this is right, Molly.
We need a stick to stir this.
He's mushing up the hardened soap. So this is how to make liquid soap from what you've done with potassium hydroxide and oil and water. Made this. So he's using a broom use what you got. True natural farming here of stirring up the soap, and then you just basically leave it for a couple days until it completely dissolves. So this part, not everyone that was at the conference got to see. This was just, us cruising, doing farm tours, chilling. But this is for completeness. You see how it's sudsing up. It's kind of like a gel soap before, and then you make it into the liquid soap and dissolve all this.
So you folks actually have papayas grown in Korea.
So we're gonna go.
In the greenhouse, like a cold tower. In the cold greenhouse. Greenhouse. Oh, right. Oh, even.
So adding the water in, dissolving. We'll watch this till the end here.
You want to break this down and break it down into small pieces, because right now they're like lumps. Yeah. So you want to break them down small so they can melt easier. Get the idea?
I doubt John's ever made this soap again. He's too natural of a guy. I wonder if he actually ever ended up using this soap.
For sensitive people, you can. So for sensitive, if you're sensitive, okay.
And again, don't ever do this at home.
How much water are you going to add now? Water? So you're just measuring on the side here. Okay. We need more water. Okay. I thought if you want me to really break it up, I can buy a new drill. And if I fill it up, I won't be able to get the drill down there. That's why I was going to do it. You don't know the drill limit. Did you say something? No, just continue filling. So if you have already broken this down, we already broke this down right here, right? It's all dissolving? Yeah, so you don't need to drill it. Okay. So now it's going to dissolve naturally by itself. Then you just stir. Sinks down, right? So you want to stir it and agitate it, and then leave it, and then it'll melt.
So you're just kind of scraping the stuff off the bottom, getting it stirred up. But, here you go. Get to see Young Sonic Joe and the team doing it themselves, making it happen. Ray, yeah, look at those muscles, Ray. All that Tai Chi paying off for sure. Yeah, this is kind of natural soap. I use it for washing clothes, all kinds of things. Yeah, and making it in a 5-gallon bucket's probably a lot more reasonable than these 100-liter batches. These 100-liter batches are so gnarly. You can see the chemical reactions. It's like if you have, you should do a small batch your first time. Don't. In fact, don't do it at home. Remember, don't do it at home.
Take it up to 30, 100 liters. 만약에 이건 덩어리가 노출되는 게 별로 보면 물좀만 넣으면 나도 물좀만 넣으면 많이 녹아. 얼마나 걸려? 주가 얼마나? 그 물량 있는 거 따라서 이게 이제 한 24시간 지나면 다 되거든. 대략 좀.
Direct 100 water.
And so, what's the shelf life on this? I mean, it took me a long time to use this.
Yeah, no expiration date on it. Lasts forever. But you'll go through a lot of it if you're using it for certain things, but you'll probably never go through it if you don't make it. Cool. So there you go. That was a little extra there, little overtime. We've got our our sulfur, our soap, all those things in here. I think we covered that. Next time maybe we'll watch the bit of them making the Jadam microbe solution. But there you go. That's from my perspective of what I saw when I saw them do it. Again, don't do this at home. Don't ever do it ever. It's not unnecessary. This entire 6 months has been just can't recommend it. But there is a place in time for this. So anyway, I want to appreciate you guys for tuning in, checking this out, being part of the office hours, helping support, share, like, share it with your grandma or just somebody. I hear if you share the video, the algorithm likes it better. I don't know. Why are we trying to please an algorithm? It's as if we all work for a machine in the simulation. But long live the natural farmer. Washing clothes. So some people do make it. Just stick to composting. I'll stick to just Master Cho's natural farming. I do make the soap. I use it. If you're washing your clothes and you're washing with like Tide or something, you are putting microplastics and detergents into the water. very bad idea. Instead, making, using Dr. Bronner's or this kind of soap is way better. So, if you want to be full ecologically, I recommend making your own soap and doing this instead of just, or just, wash your clothes with just water and lactobacillus or something like that. But we can get into that later and do all those things. So some people use Tide, man. Some people use Tide Pods and things. It wouldn't be in the store if people weren't buying it. But not that I want to get in an argument over Tide. I want to appreciate everyone for being here, tuning in, breaking the unity, biting through, getting through this, watching, learning for completeness, knowledge is knowledge and having it is good. So appreciate you. I will see you members later. And, later today. We're doing you can still join pureknf.org and become a member. Get in for today's later episode with an expert, Yaro Goret, talking about all the goodness things out there. Okay. Well, we will see you later today and or next week. Or maybe not next week. I don't know. I'm going to Maui. We'll see. I might make it for next week. If I don't, then, next week. But we'll see. Might be here next week. We'll see. So I'm going to click this one to this one and then put that one to that one. And I'm going to be out of here like